Hello everyone, we hope you're all doing very well. So today we're tackling you guys' questions that you want answered, and as ever the list is growing, and we're going to try and do 2 in 1. Now I know these are not perfectly the same, but we're struggling for time, so we're going to do our best. First, from Type Blaze, can you do this trick from the Red Tails? And there is a link to a video, and a note is it's kind of the same maneuver or similar as the question from Michael Moore. So then we're going to jump to Michael Moore. Michael Moore here. I was wondering if there are aircraft on DCS that is an aircraft that can pull off this guy's move by a US Navy F-4 pilot. The move in question is at around the 30 min mark in this video here. Right, so let's watch the F-4 first. So if you haven't seen History Channel Dogfights, this is kind of from my era before YouTube and stuff. This is History Channel, and it was professionally edited dogfights. Each was an hour long or half an hour long, and it's absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen History Channel Dogfight series before, go and watch it. It is so cool and well researched and interviewed. If I ever make it into becoming, a professional creator, this is what I would want to do. I'd want to make modern versions of this, and it had cool CGI, for the time. Obviously, you look at the resolution, it's terrible, but that's what TVs looked like at the time. I'm going to just show you a quick snippet, just some snippets of it.
But the bogies don't bite. The Phantoms roll back to the left, taking a more aggressive tack.
So they go through dogfights of history, and they show these in cockpit, and they show the pilots, and they talk about the kinematics.
Turn into me. Fingernail trick. Right now you can't see if my fingernails are dirty.
And there's loads of stuff to learn from stuff like this. I'd love to have the time one day to go through and watch them all. And great pilots, real pilots. I find it interesting. I had a guy comment today on a video we did about anti-ship missiles. And he said, Cap, you don't know anything about these anti-ship missiles. How come you know so little about these when you know so much about aviation? I just found that really funny. And it shows how you can kind of hide behind a YouTube channel. And the answer is I don't know a great deal at all about aviation. It's kind of a video I want to do soon about how DCS and aviation can help with mental illness. And the whole premise behind it is that aviation is such a massive thing. No one person could ever understand it, and I've only been doing it for 3 or 4 years. My knowledge is very small. I show you the little bits that I know, but there is so much out there. We're going to kind of punch into that here, really, with what real pilots who've flown aeroplanes for 40 years know compared to idiots like me. Anyway, sorry to spiel on. So what we're going to do, we'll start from about here.
He spots a MiG-19 just in front of him. He smoothly switches targets, the best strategy when surrounded by enemies. Muggs's best option for a shot is to barrel roll to the outside, improving his angle off
I know
the
that
MiG's
maneuver.
tail.
I taught that in the BFM video I did. I never actually do it though.
Muggs pitches up and rolls. He skillfully coordinates the stick, rudder, and throttles as he rolls again. But suddenly, everything changes.
I saw a MiG-17 back at our 8 o'clock, and it wasn't shooting yet. It was coming up there, but he was gaining ground on us. So I told Muggs, I says, we got one at 8 o'clock, and he's starting to be a threat.
We had this.
So, sorry, just stop there. So he's chasing a 19, and he's looked back, and he's just seen a 17 on his rear.
This working relationship. All right, say, Jack, don't ever tell me break right or break left, or you just tell me what's back there. I do the pilot stuff, you do the RO stuff.
The MiG on their tail begins to pull lead. The enemy's heavy cannon looms menacingly. Muggs is too low to dive away. The North Vietnamese pilot has him cornered.
Say, okay, that's it, Jack. Somebody's going to walk home, and it's not going to be us.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Muggs has a patented last-ditch maneuver for just this situation. He'll apply full forward stick and bottom rudder. Then, just as the enemy tries to compensate for the move, he'll pull hard back and boot top rudder. For a moment, the F-4 will depart or become uncontrollable and backflip. Muggs jams the stick forward and stomps the left rudder pedal, then pulls hard back. The F-4 tumbles. It's a maneuver as spectacular as it is gutsy, the domain of only the greatest fighter pilots.
We departed the airplane at about 1,500 feet, and it tumbled end over end, and Jack is saying, "What the hell are you doing?"
I'm trying to keep my eye on this MiG, and all of a sudden, I'm being thrown around in the cockpit up, and I'm what are you doing up there? Then all of a sudden, the airplane scooped out, and he was in control again, and I'm looking back, and I finally got my eyes back there looking, where's that MiG? And it's gone. And he said, there's one right in front of us.
The astonished
Okay, I think that's enough. So we've seen what he did there. And sorry that took so long, but I really want to introduce people to the Dogfights on the History Channel because it's so cool. So an amazing move there that immediately boggles the mind, and you immediately just think, hey, that's not possible, right? But obviously it is possible. How was it possible? Absolutely no idea. But let's go back and quickly analyze the moves that the program said.
apply full forward stick and bottom rudder.
So this guy here is in a lead pursuit of us here in our F-4. We're gonna push forward stick. He doesn't say if it's full forward stick, but just forward stick. Bear in mind that he's currently aft stick, kind of around a kind of slow curve, as we saw from the video. He's gonna boot bottom rudder. He's called. So bottom rudder would in this case be, because we're in a left turn, left rudder, which would usually be used to kind of increase our turn rate. And then,
Just as the enemy tries to compensate for the move, he'll pull hard back and boot top.
so that's changed his trajectory a little bit by left rudder and forward stick. And then as the aircraft's becoming a little more unsettled, I think he said full bat stick and boot right rudder. And that's going to put us into what I call a tumble, which just means a departure from flight, basically, a tumble. And then, amazingly, apparently, the plane is going to just right itself.
Rudder. For a moment, the F-4 will depart or become uncontrollable and backflip.
And that's it. So, I don't know. Next, we're going to get to the red tails. It's only a 10-second clip, so we'll watch it a few times. So, the Messerschmitt is chasing the P-51. Again, he's departed flight. It's not quite the same. What we always saw from his controls were throttle to idle, aft stick, and it magically departs flight and does this weird thing. And then he'll probably go into a spin or something, but then find a way of recovering. I've immediately called BS, but again, I don't really know what I'm talking about. So we're going to have to go and try in the P-51. I can't see why an aeroplane could be able to do that from my experience. Any thoughts on that, RC, before we go and start pulling aft stick and things?
I think it's going to be difficult to attempt, but if we can do it, it's going to be great.
This is my understanding is, again, all we couldn't see what he was doing as rudder, fair enough. But if you just pull aft stick, whether you keep your engine on or off, you pull aft stick, all you're going to do is reach your alpha limit, and then the plane just kind of stalls, as you know. It kind of, it gets so high in alpha, it can't get any higher in alpha. And it just kind of goes, at least in DCS, we get no more authority. We can't go any further. So it'll take us up to about the vertical, but it won't let us go all the way around another 180 degrees in terms of pitch. So maybe that's because DCS is wrong. Maybe because that's film's wrong. Or maybe because there's something else in there that we just don't understand. All are as likely as each other, to be honest. So to represent the F-4, we've got the F-14, we've got the F-5, we've got the F-86, we've got the MiG-19P, MiG-21, and an Su-27. These here have stability augmentation. That has augmentation, that has stability augmentation. That does not. I don't think that does not. I don't think that does. So we're going to turn stability augmentation off that, and that, which we believe should give us full control of our horizontal stabilizers. Also, we've got full moving horizontal stabilizers on that, not that, and that. This does have a type of pitch augmentation, but you can turn it off completely to giving us full access to those massive, great horizontal stabs. So we've got a nice variety of planes that I think will be suitable for this. As well as that, we've got different variations. Myself and RC can't agree on weight. For each of these, I've got 3 versions. So version 1 is no fuel and no arms, so lightweight. Version 2 is full internal fuel but no arms. Version 3 is going to be full internal fuel and full arms. So we've got light, medium and heavyweight. Now the thinking is that the lighter weight aircraft is going to give us what I call better turning. I'm going to be able to change the direction of the aircraft easier, but the thing that I think is really going to count is once we've got that inertia, that momentum in the movement of the plane, we need it to carry on and to overcome the aerodynamic forces that are trying to stop the tumble. And that's where I think a heavier plane may actually help to force the thing round, if you know what I'm trying to say, rather than it just becoming a big air brake, which is what I think is probably going to happen, and just presenting itself its full front or back to the airflow. So we'll just have to see. Hello everyone, welcome back. We've just tried over an hour all of these planes, all the different weight variations, and we can't get anything to depart bar partially the Su-27. I'm sure you've all played with turning the 2 limiters off. We think it's maybe a limitation in DCS. As soon as the plane gets to an unstable alpha, as you know in DCS, then rather than a full departure and a spin, at least in especially in a kind of lateral type plane at speed, obviously that F-4 was going at speed, it was in a dogfight, it wasn't, at 100 knots. It gets to critical alpha and then it just becomes a big aero brake and it doesn't do anything from then on in DCS, and we'll go and show it to you in a minute. Whereas if you go back and watch that F-4, it clearly is in forward motion at X 100 knots and it manages to depart. DCS, we just can't do that, which is kind of what I predicted. It's kind of by the feel of DCS. That's what I thought. Yes, you can depart planes from flight in DCS, but almost all of the time that's when you're going slow. So F-14, when you're in a dogfight, you go over the top and you're down to 100 knots and it will depart. Same, but all of these planes, you get them down to 100 knots and they're all going to depart. Let's do some examples. So we're going to F-14. I found the best results actually in the light planes. So it seems to be the quick turning seems to be a little bit better than the kind of more mass momentum to kind of bring it round. And we're going to go in here. For shits and giggles, we're going to make it as close to an F-4 as we can. I'm going to pull the wings back to about 45 degrees. Put that right there. It's not going to make any difference. It's just going to turn our AFCS off. It's pretty much all we can do to get control. And we do have full control. If I go to an external view, see the elevator there, whopping great horizontal stabilizers here. We've got full control of that. There's nothing stopping me putting that back. And that should, in theory, allow me to depart. Again, I've got full rudder. And I don't have ailerons, and I'm not going to use ailerons anyway. But in terms of rudder and that guy there, and it just won't let me depart. It hits the wall. Hits the wall there. Get to your critical alpha, what is that, 25 here, and then it won't tumble over anymore. So what we could do is try and initiate some more momentum for the tumble, but still we can't get it going. So let's go and have a go in the cockpit here. So I've got rudder axis at the bottom. I've got forward backstick. I don't really want ailerons, or they're not ailerons in this plane, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to try and build up some kind of downward momentum with left boot and forward stick like that, and then while that momentum's increasing, I'm going to opposite, back and right with right boot like that, and see if we can get any kind of tumble. What we're looking for is departure and tumble at the end of the day, really. So I'm going to try that now. Just get 400 knots or so. So try that again. Try not to black out. Red out. So it just stops the tumble. You just become a big air brake and it stops the tumble. So we'll just show it in the vertical plane, just with pitch first at the moment. So we're going to try and build up momentum in the pitch. Try not to red out. You see, it hits that wall and it will not tumble. Simply will not allow me to tumble. I personally think it's a DCS thing that's stopping us doing it, RC. Personally, because I can see full stability, full stabilizer deflection there. It just will not let me go round or depart, and we've tried every speed we can.
Yeah, the fact that we can't get any plane to depart means there may be a limitation in the software.
About the best I can do, and that's not departing, that's just a high G barrel roll.
The only time I can get an F-14 to depart if I rip a wing off.
Rip a wing off, or you go to the top of a yo-yo and stall. That's always been the only way you can do it in DCS. You hit that wall of air and it just stops you going any further. I've always noticed that. So what I mean is just stopping the tumble. It's not allowing me to tumble. And that at the end of the day is just a glorified high G barrel roll, ending up somewhere a bit weird. I'll try another plane just to show. MiG-21. I've chosen a heavy one this time. Right control on S. Make sure all stability management is off. You can see I'm going to have full deflection ability. Nothing's stopping that deflection. I should be able to rocket into a literally rocket, as in not in a rocket engine, but I should be able to rocket like a rocking chair into a tumble. That wasn't departure. That was just stalling stupidly. Let's try a light one. That was very undignified. 5, it's not going to allow me to do anything. Put some dampeners here for what it's worth. Not going to allow me to rocket into anything. At least this pilot's got more G tolerance than the other guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I nearly felt something coming
Almost,
on.
but
Yeah. I just can't get it to depart, whatever I do. And I should, again, let's go and see what deflection I've got. Just give me the deflection. Try a bit more speed. Oh, got the heavy version. I just realised I got the heavy version. Whoops.
yeah, you do.
No wonder I
Everything on
can't. No wonder I can't fly the bloody thing. Right. Well, you know, again, it should allow me to build up a bit more rotational momentum, I think, but it's just not gonna. Try and get some rocking going. It just hits that wall, hits that alpha wall, and just says, nope, no more control. I don't know. And we'll try everyone's favourite, the SU-27. You can turn off the augmentation on the pitch, and you can turn off the stick elevation limit. The stick, slew limit, whatever you want to call it. So I've got two things to do here.
1500.
Elevation control off. Whoa, how she goes. Get a bit of speed and energy into her. A bit more yaw control on this. Might be able to build up a bit more. Turn off the stick limiter. It's not departure, not even a Cobra. Yes, you can Cobra it, but even a Cobra isn't really, it's not really a full departure, it's not a tumble. It's not really a departure, I don't think you can call that.
No, that was
It's just a Cobra, it's just... We just can't get any... We can't... The momentum of the plane spinning, either pitch or yaw, we just can't get it to overcome the aero forces that DCS have put in.
So what if you killed one engine
1500.
and had the other one in afterburn and see if it'll
Roger.
depart?
Pretty powerful engines in this. So going to help us go into a right spin, this is, hopefully. Going to turn all my limits off. Just going to try and build up a bit of momentum. I keep reading out.
It's just about.
I try and wiggle left and right to build up momentum in it, kind of rotational momentum in it. But you have to do it without reading out. It's a bit.
You lose a lot of altitude.
That's alright, doesn't matter. Still not departing.
No.
That's not a departure. I'm still in control of the thing. Well, we're stuck there. Either we're really terrible pilots, which is, we accept that's very likely, or you just can't depart like that. And I'm not even going to try Warbird. Oh, solid. We're going to try Warbird, but I guarantee it's the same. It's the same DCS engine at the end of the day. Okay, we're going to try the P-51. It's almost certainly it's the same game engine at the end of the day. I don't think it's going to let us depart unless we get, stalled limits. So off we go, RC. All the guy does, he gets a bit of airspeed up. And then he goes, whee! And what a surprise, exactly the same thing. Actually, I did tumble. Wow, I take everything back. It did actually tumble. Right. That was, really unexpected. Let's try that again. Try it. Just try what the dude did.
They're ruddering?
I'm not ruddering for this.
Okay.
It doesn't... I didn't do it this time. It's not tumbling like he did, but I did... Well, I got into a spin, put it that way. It's better than nothing. The other planes, we can't even get to a spin. I'm going to try a bit of rudder this time, see if we can shake it up a bit. Yeah.
Well, maybe a little bit.
It's kind of, sort of. But you're not going to do what that red tail does. Do you know what I mean?
I think there was some movie magic in there too.
Ah, silly question, I'll see. But why don't we just try it up high? Up nice and high. Burners on. Whoops. ACFS off. Wings back a little. Okay, speed 400 air, AIS, and wait for tumble, and... Not really, just a high G barrel roll again. Actually, I managed to get into a flat spin.
Yeah, get out of it.
Remember your training cap, right, it's spinning right, so that means brake that. That means right engine only, right rudder, and nose down, 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 nose down. Come on, baby, oh baby, baby, oh baby. I can do this, RC. See, look, CLC. That's how you do it.
Nice.
Right, I'm gonna get a new one. Ah, it still won't tumble. It won't fucking tumble in the pitch. And I can easily, if I want to, I can easily stop it going into that spin, as long as I've got speed. You know what? I'm calling this RC. No, it doesn't work in DCS. What I suggest is you go and try doing it in DCS, filming it with the little bar at the bottom that tells you your speed or stuff. So, things that have to make this legitimate. It has to have a full flip in pitch, like it does in the thing. It has to maintain its forward momentum, so it's got to go into it at 400 knots or whatever and come out at pretty much 400 knots, you know, or 300 knots or whatever, you know. It can't come from a stall, you know, at 100 or 150 knots. It's got to, you know, it's coming from a fast turn, as you can see. It's coming from a fast dive. It just doesn't, the DCS engine doesn't allow it. It's like it's got gloves on and it's saying, hey, you're about to spin and I'm going to stop you because I don't want you to spin, because I want you to enjoy my video game, or something like that. That's what it feels like to me. It just doesn't want to allow us departure. Or maybe the DCS engine is right and maybe that F-4 Phantom never did that and aeroplanes can't do that. And the P-51 can't do that. I don't really know because I'm not a pilot and I don't know much about aerodynamics. We can put this one to Tate. We've got an aerodynamicist in the group now to see what he says. So I put it back to you, the viewers. Can you do it with the specifications that I've said? So low down, like in the video, fast, while maintaining your forward momentum at the end of it, roughly, with a full pitch departure from flight, and if you can, regaining flight at the end. I know that's going to be really hard, obviously, but otherwise, I think we've got to call BS, at least in DCS. There you go. Anything you want to add to that, RC?
Nope.
Right, go and see what you can get, and see you later.